Hello dear friends, I'm Marina from Mars Stars, and today I would like to present you a very interesting and also a very popular topic that we are all interested in. It's about advanced synastry and master relationship analysis. How you can make predictions about the outcome of certain relationship, how you can find whether this is a good match for you or for your clients. That's what we are going to talk about. First of all, let me tell you that there are three major steps in this work. So it's not something that you can do boom in 1 second, but if you really dive deep into all of those stuff, you will get a much deeper understanding about the future of certain relationship or what needs to be fixed or what do you need to work on. So the first step, if you want to find whether someone is a good match for you, is first of all to look in the individual charts. Don't look at inter aspects, don't look at compatibility and so on before you check the individual charts. Because the individual, the personal horoscope will tell you which are the major patterns in this area of life, what's the personality, what kind of needs the person have, and this is always the fundamental of our analysis. So remember, this applies to almost any astrology analysis. First, you have to analyze the whole chart. And when we talk about relationships, there are a couple of important indications you always have to check. The first one is, of course, Venus. Venus in the individual chart will show you generally what are the emotional needs of this person, the scenarios, or what does he understand by love, because that will show you whether those two people are in harmony with each other or they might understand love in a completely different way. If they understand love in a completely different way, this doesn't necessarily mean that they cannot fit or they cannot work together as a couple, but it means that things should be approached in a different way. For example, let's say that one of them has Venus in Aries and the other one has Venus in Taurus. Those are completely different positions. The one with Venus in Aries will want more exciting relationships, more entertainment, can be more impulsive, sometimes more dramatic. On the other side, the one with Venus in Taurus would need more comfort, more material stuff, and also more practical ways in which you show them that you really love them. So the emotional needs are completely different. And that's why we start with Venus. Check what's the position of Venus, the sign, the aspects of Venus. Is it in a harmonious position? The house also. The general analysis of this planet will show you the major love scenarios and also emotional needs for the individual people. Then you have to analyze fifth house. Fifth house is the one which is related to falling in love, the first stage of the relationship when we don't have responsibilities yet. Things are more fun, more exciting. It's more about passion. And you have to check, first of all, the sign on the cusp, also planets in fifth house, the ruler of fifth house, and don't forget aspect between other planets and the cusp of fifth house. This will show you how this person falls in love. Is he impulsive? Is he more cautious? Does he need more time to reveal himself? For example, if the person has Aries on the cusp of fifth house, he will tend to fall in love easily and fast, impulsively. He may also enjoy more drama or, more interesting stuff. And let's say that the person has Virgo on the cusp, he would be much more cautious. He will need more time to feel comfortable, to reveal feelings, to feel attracted. And by understanding that, you will see, okay, so here I need to be more patient because this person just needs more time. It's very, very helpful to look at things from this perspective. The next step is to analyze seventh house, the house of serious relationships. commitment, and even marriage. This will show you the general scenario after things get really serious or after you get married with someone. And you may notice that 5th and 7th house may present completely different picture. In this case, it would mean that when things are just for fun or at the first stage of the relationship, the person may behave in one way, but once things get really serious, or if it's about marriage, he may have different type of behavior and needs. For example, let's say that in 7th house he has Saturn. The same person who had Aries on the cusp of 5th house, who is very impulsive and falls in love easily, he also has Saturn in 7th house. This would mean that when it comes to marriage, serious responsibilities, he might be more cautious. He may need this type of stability. Sometimes he might be afraid of that. Of course, it depends on the whole chart and the aspects of Saturn. But overall, the things you need to do are the same. Check the sign on the cusp of the house, any planets in the house, the ruler of the house, and also planets between other planets and the cusp of 7th house. So again, I repeat, 5th house, it's about falling in love, it's about the attraction, the first stage. 7th house, it's about commitment, responsibilities, and even marriage. After that, there are a couple of other indications. For women, you have to check Sun and Mars, their position in signs, how they are connected with the other planets, any aspects, are they generally strong, and this will show you also what's the male archetype for this woman. Carl Jung calls this the animus of the woman, and this is also very important in our analysis. For men, except for Venus, you also need to check the moon. This will show you the anima or the feminine archetype for this man, and what does he see as qualities which are important for the woman that he might fall in love with, or the type of care he needs and everything else. So those are the major things in the birth chart analysis you have to check, but always consider the general temper of the person as well. You might want to check which is the dominant element in the chart for each of them individually. This also shows you behavior, needs, focus. It's very important. So that's our first step, the individual chart. Once that we do that, then we proceed to the next two steps. The second one is the synastry itself. And I will try to present you the major themes when you analyze a synastric chart. First of all, it's the overlays. What does overlays mean? It means taking the planets of the woman, for example, and seeing where exactly are they falling in the chart of the man. It would show you which houses are triggered. For example, let's say that the woman has her sun in Aries, 10th degree in Aries, and it falls in 7th house in the chart of the man. This would show a very positive connection, meaning that the sun, so this is the individual strength, the energy of this woman, is triggering, activating the house of relationships and serious commitment. Or let's say that the sun of this woman is falling in 3rd house, for example. This might show that this woman triggers the area of friendships, communication. This may also mean encouraging the man to teach or to communicate more openly. That's how we do those stuff with each planet. The moon and the sun, of course, are the most important. Venus, also Saturn may show you which area might be tested by this partner, where he might be kind of bringing some kind of limitations potentially, or requiring more responsibility. So you take the individual planets of each person and you check where are they falling in the other person's chart. They are triggering those areas. You might do the same with the ascendant. Let's say that the ascendant of the woman falls in 2nd house of the man. This also shows some kind of connection with finances, with material stuff and possessions. So that's the general approach. After that, of course, you do that for the two partners. So where are the planets of the woman falling in the man's chart, and the opposite, the man's planets in the woman's chart. It shows what are they triggering for each other overall. And after that, you check planetary aspects. It means the aspects between the planets of the man and the planets of the woman. There are some of those aspects which are considered to be harmonious, supportive, and positive, and others which are considered to be challenging and tough. Now, this is a huge topic, so it deserves, it's not just a video, it deserves a whole training, because that's a lot of work to interpret each possible combination. But keep in mind the general thing, that the long-lasting relationships are not always the ones with the best planetary aspects, because relationships very often are about growth. They're about testing each other, finding some blind spots, activating the shadow of each other. So you don't necessarily need to have only positive aspects in order for this relationship to last. But it's important to have aspects. It would be better to have challenging aspects than no aspects at all. And of course, we begin with the personal planets. The sun and the moon are very important. If you find connections between them, let's say the moons are having aspects. Let's say your moon or the moon of the woman has a trine with the moon of the man. This shows a very nice connection and potential for living harmoniously together. Or if the two moons are squaring each other, this would show that you need to work on that. You need to find how you can make your schedule match, or you might just have different habits at home. Those aspects are very important between the sun and the moon of the woman and the sun and the moon of the man. Then of course we have to check Venus and Mars. They show the passion, the physical attraction, the sexual relationship between the man and the woman. And the worst case would be to have no aspects between Mars and Venus and the other Mars and Venus. This would be the worst case. Challenging aspects can bring a lot of drive and attraction. So don't think that challenging aspects mean, okay, it means no passion. Very often it's actually the opposite. And harmonious aspects obviously show flowing energy, easier connection, easier expression. Saturn is also very important. Saturn can make things long-lasting. Saturn can bring more responsibility. Saturn can also bring limits. So it can be tricky. Sometimes it may show you that this person will be testing you all of the time, putting some limitations. Or the harmonious aspects may also show very stable, very long-lasting relationship. So the Saturn aspects of the person 1 with the planets of person B is very important, are very important as well. Pluto can show you deeper connections, more karmic relationships. The challenging aspects of Pluto can also be quite difficult. So overall, you have to check all of the planets of the woman and their connection, their aspects with the planets of the man. That's part 2 of step 2. And the final step in the synastry analysis is composite chart. There are 2 major ways for calculating composite charts. Usually we don't do this manually, we use different softwares. One of them is to calculate, one of them was called midpoints, the other one is Davison method. So I won't get into much details about that actually, because we can make a whole video about this topic in the future. But overall, you may check the 2 types of charts. I tend to use more the Davison method, and it seems to work better for me, but it's always helpful to check the 2 variations. Basically, what we do here is that we take the details, the birth details of the woman and the birth details of the man, and we calculate one chart which we call composite chart. This is the chart of the relationship, and you analyze it as a whole other chart. You check, the most important things are to check the ascendant, MC and IC, also the sun and the moon, Venus is very important, and overall anything which is very significant in the chart. For example, are there tau squares, or maybe there are harmonious aspect configurations. So you work with the chart individually, independently of the others. And those 3 points are actually showing you the synastric analysis. So after you have done that, step 1, the natal chart analysis. Step 2, the synastric analysis. The last step, step number 3, is prediction. It means to look at the 2 charts separately, the woman's chart, the man's chart, and to see, are there any common tendencies? For example, you might see that the woman has very nice indications for falling in love, for having a committed relationship, but on the other side, in the man's chart, you don't see such tendencies. There are challenging emotional aspects or nothing significant happening. It will show you that probably those 2 people are not supposed to be together. There are some exceptions because, for example, there might be a process, let's say that they communicate with each other and after 6 months the man falls in love and then he's attracted. So here you might want to check like a longer prediction for 1 or even 2 years to see where are things going for each of them individually. And this will also give you another layer of our analysis and ability to decide whether this relationship can really work. Now, which are the main methods which I use in prediction? First of all, solar arc directions, the most important ones, especially if you want to find period for marriage. You need this method. Here the trick is that you need a very accurate time of birth, and actually the best case would be to have a rectified chart. That's what can show you if marriage is really an option, let's say for the next 1 or 2 years or not. So the major method is this one, solar arc directions. Then also secondary progressions, they are very helpful for understanding the inner experiences of the person. Emotionally, where is he, what's going on, what type of things are happening. This is also one of my favorite methods for prediction. And also solar return charts, transits. You might want to check also retro progressions, also heliacal phases. There are many other ways for prediction or methods for prediction, but those are the master methods or the most important ones, which I usually use in my work. So there you have it, the 3 major steps for master relationship analysis and advanced synastry. Natal chart analysis, individual charts, then the synastry itself, and then prediction. If you pay attention to those 3 components, you would be able to see the whole picture. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you want to learn astrology in depth, you are welcome to sign up for the waitlist for Mars Stars Astrology Academy. Links are below the video. For more astrology, you may also check marsstars.net, and there are other articles and videos there. Let me know if you are interested in more of those videos, or if you would like to have specific advanced training, how you can do each of those steps, because it's really a lot of information which just cannot be presented in one video. I hope this helps, and I'll see you soon.